and we get a little bit of male objectification, which probably most books are needing right now. Alright guys, this is Furman with BFI.com, and we are going to be looking at some of the comics I bought this past week, and then something else, because I want to. So one of the books I bought this week was Power Man and Iron Fist, #1, written by David Walker, with art by Sanford Greene, and colors by Lee Lorridge. And if you're not super familiar with Power Man and Iron Fist, they actually go quite a while back. I think the book originally started as Heroes for Hire, was eventually changed to Power Man, and then when the sales kind of dropped, it became Power Man and Iron Fist. At that point, it was actually being written by Chris Claremont, which is kind of really cool. Most of you probably already know who Power Man is. His real name is Luke Cage, and he showed up in Jessica Jones. Him and Jessica Jones kind of, fucked. And he's going to be getting his own series next. And after that, we're going to be getting Iron Fist as well. So if you want to really get to know these characters, I think this is a really great starting off point. And what's really great about this comic is you can already tell right away that these two characters are really great foils of each other. I mean, especially now, because Jessica Jones has a baby with Luke Cage, so he's a bit more of a father figure. And Iron Fist is your typical rich, blonde, white guy asshole. So, and you can tell that they've had so much history together, just by the way they talk to each other. They feel like brothers, and the art really lends to this because it's a little bit more cartoonish, and it's a lot more, it feels like it's on the street, which is exactly what kind of characters these are. These are street level superheroes. Probably my favorite part about this comic is Luke Cage's father, and Jessica Jones tells him that he's not allowed to swear anymore, so instead of saying bad words, he kind of just says fiddle faddle, which is actually really funny. And the way it's introduced in the comic is really fantastic. So originally I wasn't going to actually buy this comic and read it, but after one issue, I'm really sold on this. Next book I want to talk about is Bitch Planet #7, written by Sue Deconnick and with art by Valentine De Landro. Be advised that this is a mature book, so there's not going to be any fiddle faddle in it. They just kind of like say fuck. They don't tone it down. Makes sense for the other book. This one, well, there's really no point in censoring it. There's a lot of thematic elements in this book that I feel are really, really fresh and really vibrant, but I don't think I'm going to talk about it right now because that would be a 20-minute video in itself. But instead, I do want to talk about the story. If you're not super aware of what Bitch Planet is, it's about a prison off-world, which is so graciously named Bitch Planet by people, where non-compliant women are sent to. And this non-compliance can be refusing to do house chores up to assault and murder. The main character, Kamau Kogo, I really hope I'm saying the name right, she was tasked with building this team for a match, a sports game, sports ball. I think it's called sports ball. It's a game that's going to be put on by the prison and the people that are running it because they just want, ratings and entertainment, because what isn't turned into a reality show anymore. And in one of their practices recently, they lost one of their players. A bit of a spoiler, but one of the players did die. I won't say who, of course. But what I thought was really fantastic about this issue was how they dealt with the guilt that some of the players were feeling after that. Specifically, one of the players was in the shower, and Kamau went up and talked to her. And what I really enjoyed about this was, okay, now I sound like a creep. They were both completely naked. But it's been said that in the shower, when you're naked, covered in water, is when you feel most vulnerable. It's one of the most vulnerable moments in your life. And so I think it was an extremely smart decision to put them in this situation, and to be able to do it with so much class, I think is a really strong thing, because this is supposed to be written like a prison exploitation film. One of the things I really love about these single issues, I don't know if they're collecting them in the trades or the hardcovers, but the essays in the back. Specifically in this one, it talks about the strong black female archetype and how it can be really poisonous to some people, and it's a really interesting view that I'm sure many of us don't have, and it's not really possible for us to have it, and that's fine. But it also includes that as well as arts and crafts. So once you're done feeling angsty, you can make yourself a hand warmer. Which I was gonna convince myself to do it and make it a little video, but then I can't do arts and crafts. I'm really horrible at stuff like that, and that's okay. Last comic I want to talk about that I bought this week is Sex Criminals #14, which oddly enough is written by Matt Fraction, the husband of Sue Deconnick, and Chip Zdarsky, the not husband of Sue Deconnick. And if you're not super aware of this book, it's about people that have sex and are criminals. They can stop time when they orgasm. It's kind of funny. Now, to be honest, not a lot actually happens in this issue. But it does open up with somebody getting maced, which is really good because the guy totally deserved it. And we get a little bit of male objectification, which probably most books are needing right now. So the story progresses a little bit, and there ends up being an argument between two of the characters, between Susie and this other woman they're working with. And it just turns to shit. And it is the most meta fucking piece of work you will ever see. I mean, people have been talking about Deadpool lately, obviously, and how he breaks the fourth wall, and you guys have no fucking idea how this broke the fourth wall. I can't tell you anything about it because it's something that needs to be experienced just in the moment. And I was literally doubling over at work while reading it, coughing, because I died. I totally died, guys. It sounds like I'm over-exaggerating it, and you know what? Maybe I fucking was, but who cares, because this got to me, and yeah, there were some realizations that Susie had towards the end that were kind of important, but everything was just kind of glossed over, and the main point of this book was, look at these fucking guys, and look at the fucking writing, look what they're fucking doing in this book. Go buy the rest, borrow it from me, I don't care. Just get to this point of the book, read it, and laugh, cry. Don't stop time, though, because that'd be really weird. If you can stop time, I don't want to get into that. Alright, so this last thing I didn't actually buy this week, but I did read this week. Punk Rock Jesus by Sean Murphy. This has been something that's been on my radar for a really long time, solely because of the title. I grew up playing a lot of music, so anything that references music in some way always catches my attention. The story is about some big company that finds the DNA of Jesus Christ and decides to clone him. And of course, since this is probably in America, make him into a reality TV fucking star. So don't be too surprised where this ends up. Yeah, character gets kind of fucked up. So does his mother. So do the people surrounding him. And you get these fucking NAC, New American Christian assholes who, of course, take up arms against this, and then it's really reflective of today's society. But not only that, the really fascinating thing about this book was the main character, Chris, and how he's dealing with this. He doesn't take the path that is given to him. He completely falls away from it. The way it's shoved into his life and becomes his life, the things it takes from him, and it's an utterly heartbreaking story. The art is just fucking mind-blowing. Sean Murphy, who's worked on stuff like Batman, American Vampire, he's doing Tokyo Ghost with Rick Remender right now, and it's blowing my absolute fucking mind. And I've always known he's a great artist, but I didn't know he could write like this. And that sums up most of my feelings for this book. It was a really fantastic story, and I really want him to do some more writing, but there's something that's just so pivotal about this book, about the way that Chris challenges his identity and the way that it's framed in a television set that really makes you question your own path. And I know that's a really vague way of saying it, but what seems to be said in this book is not so much that you need to stray away from your path or that religion is horrible, because there's some really fantastic characters in there with a lot of faith. And I think that's a very important thing that's done in this book. But to question everything. And that's okay to question. Question with respect, but question with severity. Be aware of what you're doing. And I think that's one thing that this book just did beautifully. And if you want to come over and borrow it, come over and borrow it. But bring it back, because I'll find you. Alright, so that's pretty much what I looked at this week. There's a few more, but I'm not going to talk about them because the video would be really long and you're not going to stick around to look at it. Especially because these lights are fucking blinding me and it's like 12 o'clock at night. It's not 12 o'clock at night, I think it's like 10. It is 10:24. It's not that late, but I do have work tomorrow. So, go ahead and like this video, go ahead and subscribe, comment, check out BFI.com, follow me on social media if you want, I don't know. Let's just talk about more comics and I'll see you guys next week. I don't know, maybe we'll...